Hello, welcome to the Shepherd Staff 2019 Attendance Tools video. Hi, my name is Rod Kiles and I am the manager of Concordia Technology Solutions Support. You can reach me one of two ways. If you'd like, you can send an email to rod.kiles@cph.org, or you can always give me a call at 314-268-1315. This video is one of 6 in our Introduction to Shepherd Staff 2019 video series. So far we've completed 3 of the 6 videos. We've completed the introduction video, we've completed the events and batches video, and we've also completed the reports video. Today's video is going to cover the attendance tools. Our next video will be feature mapping. What is feature mapping? Feature mapping is where we show you the prior features from the attendance module in the new version of Shepherd Staff. So over the years we've released lots of features, but with this new version we are rewriting the software. We're rewriting the attendance module from the ground up. So we're going to go through what we're calling feature mapping so that you can find those older features in the new version of the software. After our feature mapping video, then the final video is going to be our installation and upgrading video. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and go through the topics that we're going to cover today. So the primary focus is going to be tools and settings. We're going to start out by logging into the software, then we're going to go through the tool for defining your visitors. So we'll start there, then we'll switch over to changing your attendance types. We'll show you how to disable the feature to automatically create a batch. Then we'll go through combining attendance records, and we'll show you how to fix attendance posting mistakes. And actually there's one more. There's a cleanup utility. So we're going to go through all 6 of those utilities during this training video. As you can tell, I'm excited. I hope you're excited as well. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and switch screens over to Shepherd Staff, and everybody should be able to see my Shepherd Staff login screen. So I'm going to log in as the system administrator. This will give me access to all of the features inside of Shepherd Staff. You'll notice at the bottom of my login window, it's going to say version 2019 8.7. And that's just letting me know that I am on the most recent edition. Now, the most recent edition is supposed to release at the end of September. So we're, just a short time period away until this goes out to all of our customers. There is an automatic update process. So if you've registered your software with Shepherd Staff, you'll be able to download the most recent version through the internet as soon as it becomes available. So any customer who is a supported customer will be able to go through that process, and they'll just be able to check for program updates, and when they log in, that new version will download and install. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. That's going to allow me to log into the software. At the bottom of the screen, you'll also be able to see which version or edition of the software you're using. So let's go ahead and go into the attendance module. To access the attendance module, we'll click the attendance icon here at the top, and you'll notice how the module looks different than it has in the past. That's because of the rewrite. So the menu bar is a little bit different. It's going to say go to here at the top, utilities, windows, exit, and help. One of the key focuses of this rewrite was to simplify the view. So we've taken away a lot of those links, but we've made sure to include the functionality. So inside of here, it's going to say go to, and that will allow you to access attendance, subgroups, and web tools. And then underneath utilities, there's going to be a few of the minor utilities inside of the program. Below that, it's going to say attendance. That's to allow you to access the attendance module. Now, we're already in the attendance module, but in the future, up here across the top, there's going to be the other menu items: membership, contributions, finance. That's the direction we plan on going. To the right of those items are going to be your centralized your centralized options, things that are accessible in all of the modules, or the majority of the modules. So there's subgroups and there's also web tools, and we plan for Report Writer to be part of that area in the future. Now below that are going to be your main tabs for this module. There's going to be attendance, events, reports, and tool settings. And then below that, there's going to be your sub tabs. So these top ones, we're going to call those tabs, and the lower ones, we're going to call those sub tabs. So underneath attendance, there'll be attendance related sub tabs. If we go to events, there will be events related sub tabs. And then when we get to reports, there'll be reports that are listed here on the left. Those really aren't sub tabs, but those are the items that are considered reports. To the right of reports is going to be tools/settings, and this is the area where we will access our tools and our settings. So basically the programmer has pulled all of the tools from different parts of the program and centralized them here inside of tools and settings. And let me restate that. We have pulled all the attendance related tools into this part of the program so that you can access them from here. So they're centralized in this part of the program. All of the membership related tools are still in membership. All the contribution tools are still in contributions, but the attendance related tools now can be found inside of this part of the program. The first tool that's listed is going to be define a visitor. So what is defining a visitor? It's kind of listed here. When posting attendance, a visitor is a non-member with a participation of one of the following. So when you go to enter an attendance batch inside the program, if that visitor has one of these 5-6 items, then they'll automatically be marked as a visitor. And that only works with posting of attendance batches. So there's constituent, friend, guest, preparatory, prospect, and visitor. So I'm not going to change any of those right now. I'm actually going to switch over to the membership module so I can show you where that drop box is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize the attendance module. And in membership, so go to membership. So across the top here on the main menu, there's going to be membership. Then from there, we can go into a person record. So usually what I'll do is I'll click on the P here at the top, or I'll use the household tree here on the left-hand side. So to take a look at somebody's record, why don't we pick the Abbott family here at the top, and we'll click on David Lawrence, Dave Abbott. So David Lawrence Abbott, Dave Abbott. So clicking on his record, this will bring up his person record, and then you'll notice on his record that it's member, non-member, and then there's a participation drop-down box. Now, if it's on member, you'll actually have one drop-down list here, but if you go to non-member, then you'll have a non-member, then you'll have a second drop list, so friend, prospect, and visitor. So I'm going to cancel his record, and actually I'm going to add a visitor into the system. So I'm going to say no and close people. Then to add a visitor into the system, I'm going to go to add a person. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to enter in their name. So let's say this is Tom, and then say it's Tom Abbott. Okay, it's a cousin of Dave Abbott or something like that. So let's say that he's going to live at the Abbott household. And then underneath participation, or first I'll go to non-member. Then underneath participation, there's friend, prospect, and visitor. So if I select visitor when I go to record attendance, it will show, this person will show as a visitor, but I'm going to actually add guest to the list here. So guest, I'm going to type guest, and I'm going to press tab on my keyboard. The item guest is not in the list. Do you want to add it? I'm going to say yes. Then I'm going to click OK. Then click refresh over here, and now Tom is listed as a non-member and his participation is guest. So then at this point, I'm just going to close membership, go back into attendance. There we go. and click on the A here. Oh, it's down here at the bottom. Okay, so click on the A there. And at that point in time, to enter in attendance, I can go to attendance here at the top. I can click batches, or I can click detail to add in an attendance record. So if I go to batches and then I click add down here at the bottom, then I could select which event I want. So I'm just going to say traditional worship. And I'm going to go back in time since I have some attendance already in the system. So I'm going to go back to the second here, and then I can select basic or advanced. And I did create a video talking about events and batches, and that is posted on our Shepherd Staff blog. So if you go to shepherdstaff.org and click on the link for blog, you'll be able to see those videos. So I'm just going to use advanced here, click continue. That's going to bring up my advanced entry. Then I'll click on Tom, and I'm going to add him over here to the right. And you'll notice when I add Tom, it's going to say that he worshiped, communed, and he's a visitor. So I'm going to uncheck number 2 to just say that he worshiped but did not commune. Then I'll click save and close. Then from there, I can just simply post my batch. So you'll notice how that little V appeared, and that's all due to his participation. So I'm going to go ahead and close, not close this window. I'm going to go ahead and go back to tools. And basically, that's the define a visitor. If you make changes, you do need to click save to lock those changes in. The way that this window works is by checking the box, you open up the option. You can then select the option and click save. So, and the save is like a confirm option, basically. Okay, so to the or below define a visitor is going to be other settings. The other settings option allows you to designate whether or not you want to create attendance batches when posting offering batches. Now, some people like this feature, some people don't. But for those that like this feature, you'll want to uncheck the box. And for those that don't like the feature, you'll want to check the box. So I'm going to say I'm going to leave the box unchecked and then click save. Then if we go into save and close this, and I'm going to close attendance here so it register my changes across the whole database. Then at that point, go into contributions. I can go to batches, and I can add a batch. And let's say that I want to add a batch for, I'm not going to do 916. I'm going to go back to a prior, I'm going to go to 99. Then click OK. Then from there, I'm going to select a contributor. I'm going to say Sally Baxter. Let's say that she gave $100 to Fund 1. Then press enter. Then close. Now at this point, now that batch is here in the system, 99, I can click on that batch and I can click post down here at the bottom. When I post that batch, you'll notice that there's already a checkbox in create an attendance batch. Create an attendance batch for all the contributors in this offering batch. All you'll need to do is select the option for which service you want to create that batch for. There's also the option for create a deposit and finance and the date for that. So then from there you click OK and answer yes. Batch 2 posting reports are available for printing. We'll click OK. And it'll go through and it'll print out. I want to say the summary one is printed first and then the detail one is printed next. So then we'll click OK and we'll close this batch, and we're actually going to close contributions and reopen attendance. Then at that point, when we go into batches, which we're in right now, it remembers our prior location, we'll be able to see that batch for 99, the contemporary worship. If we double click on the batch, or if we right click and edit, it'll bring up that batch and it'll include the person or contributors who gave in this attendance batch. So it's a shortcut, and you can choose to use that shortcut if you'd like. So click save, and close. And you can make changes and modify that batch at that point. You can also right click. Right click is something that's going to be new inside of the grids for this release of Shepherd Staff, or new inside the attendance grids for this release of Shepherd Staff. Okay, so from there we can go to tools. Below that's going to be our option for change attendance types. Inside of Shepherd Staff there are attendance types. 3 of them come by default, so worship, communion, and Sunday school. The 4th and 5th one are other 1 and other 2. So inside of here, all churches have worship, all churches have communion, all churches have Sunday school, and that's why those were created by default. I have seen some churches change those and use them in different ways, but when it comes to these options, one of the reasons why they're in here is they are tied to your congregation annual reports. And with those congregation annual reports being set up the way they are, you really don't want to change worship, communion, and Sunday school. So some of them are dependent on these attendance types being set this way. When it comes to other 1, you can go in and change it to something else. And this could be youth group is one example. So once you make the change, you could then click save. Do you wish to change the attendance types, other 1, the attendance type, singular, other 1 to youth group? And you can say yes. Your changes will be applied the next time you open the attendance module. So we'll say okay. We'll close this here, and we'll close the module. Then we'll open up attendance. Then next, for example, if we went to events here, and we decided to add an event, we could go to add. Then we'll be able to see worship 1, 2 for communion, Sunday school for 3, and worship and youth group for 4 there. So 1 worship, 2 communion, 3 Sunday school, and 4 youth group. So you can tweak those and make changes. I didn't mention what attendance types were. Attendance types are a grouping mechanism. So they allow you to group events together. All of your worship events will be type 1. Worship and communion events will be type 1 and type 2. All your Sunday school events will have type 3. And then, by this design, we can say all of our youth group events would have type 4. So that's the benefit of using your attendance types. Okay, let me close that. Do you want to leave without saving? Yes, we do. Okay, so let's go back to tools and settings. And then we have 3 more tools to show. There is clean up your attendance data. So the cleanup utilities were added a little while ago. And these cleanup utilities allow you to purge information from the system. So there's cleanup utilities in membership, cleanup utilities in attendance, cleanup utilities in contributions, and cleanup utilities in finance. Let me add one more to that. There's also cleanup utilities in the scheduler module. So what do cleanup utilities allow you to do? They allow you to purge information from Shepherd Staff. Now, the attendance one will allow you to purge your attendance records from the system. Now, we try to urge customers to not purge information from the program. The main reason for not purging it is that it allows you to create analytical reports later on down the line. So the more information you're willing to keep inside the system, the better off you'll be in the long run. The one situation that most people are more adamant about, or most adamant about, is purging removed people from membership. And of course, we'll talk about that during our year-end trainings. There's ways to get around that, but if you can, work with the data to keep it inside the program, it will give you your clearest reports at the very end. So with the cleanup utility inside of attendance, it does require that you hold on to data for 10 years. And our programmer, Kevin, he is correct. It is highly recommended that you perform a backup before executing these utilities, because you're going to cut information out of the database. And the only way to get that information back is through running a restore. So if you're going to run the cleanup utility, please back up first. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the cleanup utility here. Below the cleanup utility is going to be combined attendance for 2 people. And the combine attendance for to people utility allows you to kind of clean up mistakes that were made with the data. So there's lots of times that people will create multiple person records that represent one individual. A couple situations that are applied are situations where someone comes of age. So they'll have a child record, and then people will go in and create an adult record. Or someone gets married, so they're single inside the database. When they get married, they'll create a second person. Or someone leaves and comes back, they'll create a new person record. In situations like that, please use the other record, the original record inside the database, and update that record. So if you update that record, then all the information will be correct and you won't end up with two people that represent the same individual inside the software. So at this point, I'm going to say start. And what it does is it brings up this combine utility. And what you can do is inside the drop list, you can go through and select the individuals that you want to combine together. So in step 1, you'll select the person whose attendance records you wish to move to someone else. And in step 2, you'll select that person who is supposed to have those attendance records. So we have Howard Brown and we have Howard Raymond Brown. And I intentionally created duplicate records here that were very similar so that I could show the combination. If you have two people and the names are identical, what you can do is go in and modify the names prior to trying this combination utility, this combining utility here. So I know Howard is the one that I want to move into Howard Raymond's. I want to move all of his attendance records into Howard Raymond's attendance record. So at that point, attendance records, at that point, I'll click continue. And when you're working with this utility, it is important to back up as well. But you click on it and then it says Howard Brown's attendance records have been moved to Howard Raymond's Brown's attendance records. So then you click OK, and those records have now been combined. So it's a really quick process, and it can save you, confusion and frustration by simply running that utility. Okay, the final utility for this video is the fix attendance posting mistakes utility. So every once in a while, an attendance batch is posted to the wrong date, and it could also be posted to the wrong event. In a situation like that, what you're going to want to do is run this fix posting attendance mistakes utility. So you can click on the event that you want to update. So say this traditional attendance batch was posted to the wrong date. I can click on that batch and click continue. Then at that point, I'll have the choice of changing the date of the batch, changing the event of the batch, and I can also change the types of that batch. So at this point, say that it was just simply the wrong date. I'll check that box, click on the calendar here and move that to the 16th. Then if I needed to change the event, I could change it over to contemporary worship. And if I need to change the attendance types, I could do that as well. So I'm just going to say that we are changing the date here. So then at that point in time, we'll click save. You have chosen to change the date to 9/16/2018. Is this correct? I would add you do want to back up before running this utility as well. So we'll say yes. Give it just a few moments. It'll run through and change the dates on all of those attendance records. You have posted the batch. Success. Your posted batch has now been updated. So then at that point, I'll click OK. And the task has been completed. I could go to attendance and I could go to detail. And then inside of this view, I could say search and I could say equal to 09/16/2018. Then press enter. And then this would show me all of my attendance records for that date. So that would show the information that I'm looking for. Okay, that's all the information that I have for this video. If you have any questions, please let us know, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.